Welcome. Today, we will be talking about solo queue versus a full team that's queued together, and also how to improve your teamwork and have a better understanding of the finals. Within this video, there will be two key words, and that's communication and coordination. Understanding that finding teamwork and synergy amongst your team within each game is the utmost importance. And hopefully, this information helps and allows you to do better and win more games. Personally myself, I don't usually solo queue, as I find the game to not be as enjoyable or playable compared to being with a full team or people you're comfortable playing with. Since I don't normally solo queue, I thought I'd take it another step further, and that was to solo queue as a light with sniper. And good gosh, this class people probably fear the most, especially on ranked. When I join their team and they see a light sniper, oh boy do hells go loose. And to top it off, I did this challenge towards the end of the season actually, and I lost some of my ranking, but I was still top 300 and wanted to know more about the issues and problems with solo queuing. And truthfully, the first one I found was that people just don't use their voice chat. You know, like, honestly, the biggest difference between solo queue and a team that's full is that you'd have a team that talks, essentially. Like, you have friends or people you know that are willing to talk. So when you're in solo queue, I don't necessarily understand why people don't, because it's the most important thing. I mean, it's like the thing you look for in a team, you know? So, I don't know. I would just suggest people trying to communicate more and just being more coordinated and understanding things better as a team. And understanding comes with knowing each class as well. And honestly, to me, communication and knowing where the enemy team or teams are coming from as a light helps you out tremendously. Not just on your positioning, but it helps you actually coordinate and be able to do things as a team properly. For instance, like if you had to throw in some glitch grenades or frag grenades at heavies and mediums that keep reviving and healing, but they're stuck in a corner, if you got a heavy and medium on your team and they just let you know, like, hey, we got this team stuck on this floor, on this room, you know? You could get some grenades in there and help your team out tremendously. The amount of coordination and teamwork that's needed for this game is like a lot, which is why I think Light's actually really useful, but it's so overlooked because of how squishy the character is. And I actually made a mistake here in the video. I should have grabbed the body's teammate, and then honestly should have gone down and right, knowing that the other cash out was just right there. The goal is to actually get down and to reposition myself with my team, which is something that is very huge and needs to be thought of when playing this game. Is team coordination and being comfortable playing with them and away from them. As a late player, that's the hardest understanding, and is why I would believe people as late kind of get caught out dying on their own sometimes. So, can be unfortunate. But as a light player, generally speaking, your responsibilities are for you to be a scouter for your team. You know, and to be able to relay any information for your team. You're supposed to be able to create windows of opportunity, not only for yourself, but for your team, and help your team create chances against them. Like, it's just so helpful when even solo or together, if you're able to just communicate, which I know I'm going to be going over a lot, but you need to talk with your team and just if everyone knows and understands what's going on in the round, it helps everyone do their job, whether it's a heavy who needs to push someone, or like push an area, you know, or a medium needs to heal someone, or it needs whatever, need to be revived. Like, there's so much coordination on everyone's class that has to be put together in order to create a successful team. You know, and more on the fact of if you are solo queue, I really do recommend if people aren't talking within your game to just try and use pings or gestures, any sort of communicating way that you can, if that's shooting at them, teabagging in front of them, whatever you gotta do, just do what you can to help. You know, you have so much utility that you can use. You have the glitch grenade, you have the invis bomb. You could go crazy with it and start using flash grenades if you wanted to. You know, just whatever you gotta do. You have great utility that allows you to create flanks and get one-on-ones with enemies, whether that's your dash or invis, just pointing out where the flaws in the enemy teams are. If that's they rotate without a teammate, you know, if one stays back and the other two go forward. There's so much in this game to consider and always stay on track of, which is why there's another thing I'd really like to mention the importance of, and that's checking the scoreboard. You know, it's something I actually do quite often within my games, and you'll see within the clips that, you know, keeping track of who's alive, what team's alive, keeping track of your money, you know, like for instance in this clip, initially I'd gone for the cash out to steal, but I had checked and I realized there's still another red dude alive, you know? So then it turned out to be the light, so I just backed off, got the res, so that way we have a full team, and then are able to take the one-on-ones, because then the light coins after the heavy dies, and we're able to get the steal and win right from there. You know, there's a lot of importance of being with your team, but not directly like on them, essentially. You know, that's where the scouting role kind of comes into play. You're really an outseer looking in, and you want to provide as much information and help that you can possible for your team. Because honestly, as a light player in hectic situations, I may not even be near my team at all, and rather it'd be away and on the outskirts of things. You know, allowing my team to play together and support each other while I support my team by finding out information like what's safe, where's the danger coming from, you know, what abilities can I use, what can I do to contribute to hurting them and affecting the enemy team that allows my team to do better, what color team, you know, like who's on their team, how many people are alive, simple things like that. Like, these are things that you'd have to constantly be thinking about and adjusting and evaluating within the game to be able to help your team do the best. And you honestly have to do this because there really isn't any standard setting in each game of the finals. So being ready to move as a team, or coordinating your team for attacks and defense quickly and readily becomes that much more crucial. You know, no matter whether you're queued up with friends or solo, being a team together is most important. Communicating, coordinating each class's strengths, and figuring out each other's weaknesses on the enemy team will make a team for success anytime. So the main things to go over as a solo light player to think about. For one, has to be your positioning. Number one is definitely positioning. Number two is your communication and what you're able to communicate to your team, letting them know what's in front of them or going on around them, and really taking on that scout role. And then the third one, of course, is coordination. You need to be able to coordinate with your team as a light. If you're not able to coordinate as a light, it is just that much harder to be a light, and makes it, you know, the reason why people can see bad things within a light player. It requires so much more out of you as an individual if you're not with your team. When you're with your team, you're able to see great implements of action where a light player is useful. And especially when I'm playing with my team, we find the light to be the big game changer. If anything, it's what allows teams to get split up, or allow a disadvantage on their side to occur, is because of a light player.
They're all over here. They're all over here.
And so with saying that, honestly just wanted to point out another issue that I had, just simply not solo queuing as a light sniper, but more so just solo queue as a light in general. Because the most common issue I had was people would switch up the compositions, or, instead of being a good team, we'd have 3 lights, or they'd have a bad demeanor towards me, and this is all before there's a chance to even play, because I understand where people are coming from, and that the general outlook of a light isn't good, but when you have someone who's a good player and has good time into that, and you'd rather them just change, which I can understand, again, because it's harder to coordinate things with a light. But I think if you're able to overstep that, then it'll be a lot easier. But I just really would like people to essentially give people a chance, It wouldn't make sense for someone in, let's say, like Valorant or Overwatch or Rainbow Six, games that have these characters that are like locked into their style, like a duelist or support, like, you wouldn't want them at a higher rank switching their play styles, Just give people a chance, give them a shot, and just see how things go. If things don't go good after the game, by all means, flame them up, do what you need. It is what it is. People have bad games, not all of them are great, but I would just rather people be kinder to the situation, especially with this next season coming up. We have great things to look forward to, and I hope Light is able to just be seen as greater than what it is. I know it's not the most conventional or beloved class, but it is a really good class if you can master it. So, you never know who you might play with and how good someone else could be at something you're not. So with that being said, I just wanted to say thank you for watching the video. I did have a comment on my last video about what my settings are, so that's what this is here. And please leave a comment on what your thoughts are about Light, and especially if you are solo. And yeah, thank you very much, and I'll hopefully see you in some ranked games. See you!